Hey YouTube, Kiritwig here, bringing you all an update to my dual avatar Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. Wanted to update this fusion style deck that focuses on two main deck Yu-Gi-Oh monsters to be able to summon out and make use of the many different fusion monsters for the dual avatar archetype. It's definitely an overlooked archetype. It hasn't really gotten new support since Cyberstorm Access, but still changed around some of the numbers for some of the cards that I run in the deck, and definitely made a pretty budgetable version of the deck to build. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the actual dual avatar monsters, we only have two main deck monsters, and that being the first dual avatar Fists Yuhi. You can target one dual avatar monster you control, destroy it. If you do, add one dual avatar spell from your deck to your hand. If a face-up dual avatar fusion monster you control that was fusion summoned using an effect monster's material is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can add that card to your hand. You can only use this effect of dual avatar Fist Yuhi once per turn, but still having that add back power for this card, along with search power for your dual avatar spells, makes it one of the needed cards, not only for those search requirements, but also for the fact that it is the specific requirement for our dual avatar empowered Yugioh. But still, also being able to have this card in the name for it gives us some fusion deployment targets as well using this monster, along with the other monster being our dual avatar feat Kokoku. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one dual avatar trap from your deck to your hand. And during your opponent's turn, if a face-up dual avatar monster you control except dual avatar feat Kokoku is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only apply this effect then, destroy one dual avatar monster you control. If you do, special summon one dual avatar fusion monster from your extra deck. You can only use each effect of dual avatar feat Kokoku once per turn, but access to your variety of fusion monsters with your main deck monster is also a big help for setting up the main playstyle of the deck to begin with. And as I said, those are the only dual avatar monsters for the main deck. For the rest of the main deck monsters, I run 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird and 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Just a small hand trap lineup to run in tandem with the dual avatar monsters that we run in the deck. For these spells, we run 3 copies of Dual Avatar Invitation. You discard 1 card, and if you do, special summon as many dual avatar spirit tokens as possible. Warrior Light level 2 with 0 attack and 0 defense, except for fusion, and all tokens you control cannot be tributed and are destroyed during the end phase. After summoning these tokens, you can apply this effect up to twice per turn. You fusion summon dual avatar fusion monsters from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. You can only activate 1 dual avatar invitation per turn. So with this card, it gives you more monster resources in the form of a non-monster option, being the spell card that we run, giving you the variety of monsters on the field for you to use in the deck with this spell, along with one other very fun combo you can do with another spell in the deck, which I'll go over at the end of the spell lineup. But still, being able to apply the effect for fusion summoning gives you more resources in the form of your dual avatar tokens to be able to summon out, and then also being able to make use of those monsters as well. For our next spells, we have the 3 Perfect Sync Aeon. When this card is activated, you can add 1 dual avatar monster from your deck to your hand. If you control a dual avatar effect monster, you can special summon 1 dual avatar spirit token. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for fusion monsters. And you can only use this effect of Perfect Sync Aeon once per turn, and you can only activate 1 per turn as well. So this card gives you more of a token resource on the field in turn when you have one of your effect monsters on the field, which, just like Dual Avatar Invitation, providing you with as many tokens as possible, you at least get some consistency with this field spell as well, just giving you that additional monster needed for your fusion summons. And we also run 2 copies of Dual Avatar Defeating Evil. You target 1 dual avatar monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. Then if you destroyed a dual avatar fusion you control by this effect, you can apply one of these effects to either draw a card or banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard. So you're either giving yourself a resource to use or taking a card away from your opponent. Being a quick play spell allows you to also do this during your opponent's turn for more interruption of their own cards. For some more of the generic spell lineup, 3 copies of Fusion Deployment, just being able to reveal the fusion monster of choice, whether it be our dual avatar empowered Mitsujaku or our Kongyo for our dual avatar empowered. Both of these cards revealed can special summon one of the 2 main deck monsters that we run onto the field to then be able to use, because they also have special summon card effects to be able to use for their play, or just the initial destruction power as well of our Dual Avatar Fists Yuhi. And with all the destruction power we have, even at our own accord, we're running 2 copies of Supply Squad. Once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, draw 1 card. So just draw power on top of the destruction power that we make use of in the Dual Avatar deck. It definitely does come in handy, just being able to destroy our own cards and get draw power off of it, thanks to Supply Squad. With the 1-ofs for our spells, including the special tech, which is the Law of the Normal. You can only activate this card while there are 5 face-up, level 2 or lower normal monsters on your side of the field. Both players discard all cards in their hand and destroy all cards on the field except the level 2 or lower normal monsters. So what's great about this card is it works very, very well with Dual Avatar Invitation, just for the fact that you special summon as many Dual Avatar Spirit tokens, which count as the normal monsters on the field, and then you apply the fusion effect for Dual Avatar fusion monsters as well. So Law of the Normal will get rid of all of the cards discarded on the field and destroy all cards on the field except for the normal monsters. The spell will still be applying the fusion effect, so then you can use those normal monsters for your fusion plays while everything else in both players' hands and cards on the field are gone. And then also the 1 copy of Instant Fusion, just being able to grab more resources, including a fusion monster, to then be able to use for that destruction play on the field. And then the 1 Terraforming to search out our Aeon field spell, and the 1 Reinforcements of the Armor, being able to search out either one of our monsters since they're both warrior monsters. For the traps, we're running 3 copies of Dual Avatar Compact. During the main phase, banish 1 Dual Avatar spell trap from your graveyard, except for Dual Avatar Compact. This card's effect becomes that spell or trap's effect while this card's activated. You're going to use 1 Dual Avatar Compact per turn, but being able to banish cards like our Dual Avatar Invitation, just to give us more resources using a trap card, of all things, is another big help with the deck, including the 3 copies of Dual Avatar Ascendance. Target 1 Dual Avatar monster you control, destroy it. If you do, special summon 1 Dual Avatar monster from your deck or extra deck, whose original level is 1 higher or 1 lower than that monster. And during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to target a Dual Avatar monster in your graveyard and add back to your hand. So banish power for add back power, and then depending on the level of the monster, being able to summon out those fusion resources onto the field also to use. With the last of our Dual Avatar traps being 2 copies of Dual Avatar Return. With this card being able to target 1 Dual Avatar monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then if its original level is 4 or lower, giving you a token on the field as well. So another card that can be copied with Dual Avatar Compact, but just another way to set up more cards on the field for you to use for your fusion plays. With the rest of the traps being 1 copy of the Rivalry of Warlords, for the fact that this is an all-warrior deck, and the 3 copies of Infinite Permanence, along with the other traps. We do have a pretty high trap count, but still, they all work very, very well for setting up what the deck is meant to do. For the extra deck, the good majority of the extra deck being the Dual Avatar monsters, 2 copies of Dual Avatar Empowered Kongyo, needing a Dual Avatar Fist Yuhi, and 2 Dual Avatar monsters, which can easily be done with the token spam that we can run in this deck. Also being able to make it so your opponent cannot activate cards when this card battles. And until the end of damage step, if this card attacks after damage calc, you return 1 monster your opponent controls to the hand. And when your opponent's monsters or opponent's spell or trap is activated that targets a card on the field, or you control 2 or more fusion monsters, you can negate the activation. Definitely your boss monster of the deck altogether, with the backup boss monster being our Mitsu Jaku. For this card, being able to protect your cards on the field, and then when a monster effect is activated, or you control 2 or more fusion monsters, you can destroy that monster. So the 2 work very, very well together, and then that easy setup can be brought onto the field with our cards like Dual Avatar Fist, Armored Yugioh, and our Dual Avatar Feet, Armored Yugioh, for those monsters to be able to summon out, with the last of the fusions being the 3 copies of Dual Avatar Manifested Aeon. For this card being able to gain the following effects based on the number of materials used for its fusion summon, but also if it's destroyed, being able to special summon a Dual Avatar Fist Yuhi or Dual Avatar Feet Kokoku from your deck. So with this card being fusion summon, even if you use cards like Instant Fusion and it's destroyed, you can then grab a special summon for either Yuhi or Kokoku from your deck onto the field, and then protecting them by battle or card effect for that turn. And then for the rest of the extra deck, 1 copy of SP Little Knight, the 1 copy of IP Masquerena, the 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and then the 1 Nightmare Unicorn. We don't go into links as often, but they're good to have as just additional plays on top of the fact that if you get locked out of fusion summoning. For some pretty fun plays in the deck, as I mentioned before, the Dual Avatar Invitation and the Law of the Normal play is definitely a cheeky one at that, because you activate this card, discarding your card, giving you the token on the field. So with that, you'll summon out your level 2 tokens onto the field, giving you your 5. And if you play this play first, before your opponent even has a chance to do anything, you activate the Law of the Normal. Well, there are 5 face-up level 2 or lower normal monsters on your side of the field, which there are. Both players discard all cards in their hand, destroy all cards on both fields except for the level 2 or lower normal monsters. So then from there, you have no cards in your hand, your opponent has no cards in their hand or any cards on their field. And then the second effect of Dual Avatar Invitation. For this card, you can apply this effect up to twice. Fusion summon 1 Dual Avatar Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control. So then you can use the monsters on the field, which are your tokens, to summon out cards like our Armored Yugioh and then our Armored Yugioh, using 2 of the tokens for each. So then you have 2 boss monsters ready to go on top of your opponent having no resources aside their next draw for their turn. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.